Oh yeah, I guess we're live. Let me know if you can see me and you can hear me. My friends, happy Friday. It has been a minute since we've done a Friday live stream. And I have a couple big announcements. And I'll start with the first one. I made a video of it earlier this week that the Online Educator's Blueprint is now live. For a lot of you, this might not interest you because you're guitar players and you just want to learn to play guitar and you just want to find new music. But for those of you like me, who, online education has become my greatest passion outside of actually playing music. For those of you like me that are teachers and you're curious how it's done, I decided to make a course that was no BS, no fluff, that really just showed you quite literally everything I do and how I make a living and what I've learned over the past 10 years. I have dropped a link in the comments. It is also in the description, and there is a coupon code. You can save 25% using the code 25OFF. That's number one, and we can talk about that if you want. Number two, about to hit 500,000 subscribers. We are cruising right now, and so as per usual, I'm going to have a 500,000 subscriber live concert. I'm going to do a sale, and I'm going to do a whole PRS rig giveaway. Now, I don't have the actual guitar and amp and straps and cables and everything yet, but I've been told that it's in the mail. So, if you are a GuitarGate subscriber on the website, you will automatically be in the running to win it. So it's going to be a guitar, it's going to be an amp, it's going to be your picks, your strings, your strap, an entire rig. And then I'm going to have a 500,000 subscriber concert, which I will let you know when that's going to happen, but it's going to happen sometime in the next 3 weeks or so. Vandy, how are you doing? Chris, how are you doing? Richard, good to see you. Rabbit, good to see you. Happy Friday, everyone. Now, another thing that I'll share, and then I'm going to open this up to comments and questions, and we can talk about anything you'd like. Just remember the code 25OFF, 25OFF, works on the Online Educator's Blueprint. For anybody that's interested, you can just go to michaelpalmazzano.com, or there's a link in the description. Now, the video I made about this guitar has gotten a lot of attention. And I actually got an email from my good friend Gene at PRS, who basically said, Michael, that's a hell of an axe, but boy, does it need some love. And I also got a lot of emails from you out there saying that you'd like to get involved and like to help and maybe even make a guitar for me or get involved somehow. So I'm going to respond to each one of you individually, but I'd like to talk about what you think here live on a live stream. And you're wondering, what am I doing with this screwdriver? I'm going to open this box because one thing I mentioned in the email is that I might change the pickups out on this thing and take them out of my 594. And so, of course, the wonderful people at PRS, oh look, sent me some pickups. But that's not what's in this box. Jean told me she's going to send me the 5815 LT pickups to put in this thing. And so that's just what I assumed was in this box. But what's actually in this box is the instrument cable that's going to go to the lucky winner of the whole rig. How funny is that? Shows you how much I don't do things in advance. So I'm going to put this back in the box for safekeeping. But again, know that for 500,000 subscribers, not only are we having a concert, there's going to be a live stream sometime in the next 2 or 3 weeks, trying to figure it out with the drummer. It's always a problem with the drummer. You know this. But we got the location figured out. We're doing it at a local studio here in Maryland called Sheffield. It's been around for a very long time. They've done some amazing work over the years under new ownership. And so I'm kind of giving them a shot and see how they do, see what happens there. And again, whole PRS rig, guitar, amp, cable, strap, strings, absolutely everything. And I'm actually going to gig with that rig. So, you know, a lot of you out there can be like, oh, Michael's going to, you know, maybe he'll give away a guitar and amp and everything, but he would never play with it. It's going to be a bedroom practice amp. Complete nonsense. So, so you're going to see me play the exact rig that the winner is going to get, and then I'll send that exact thing to you. And that's it, my friends. So, how many questions out there? I can open it up to whatever you would like. Mr. Tonic Amps, good to see you. Panda, yes, I am. I really am, and I know that's going to be crazy. I've had so many people tell me, like my cousin David, who's an incredible guitar player, he told me that this issue between this and this, how off that is, that is probably actually an issue with this. He's had that same issue, the selector and not the actual pickups. So I'm going to try that first. But I think I am going to swap out the pickups and put something with some coil splits or coil taps or whatever in here. And just for fun, just for shits and giggles. Why not? There you go. Let's see. Dominic, I appreciate that, my friend. I do. I really do appreciate it. I'm very blessed. 10 years, man. I've been doing this 10 years. My next reaction video is going to be tomorrow. Doug Hunt, a band you have not seen live that you'd love to see. Oh, there's so many. First thing that comes to mind is Coulter Wall. I would love to hear how big his voice sounds in the room. And he canceled most things, or basically everything, because of COVID, and I don't know what his plans are for the future. I don't know. Mr. Tonic Amps, why no locks on that Floyd? Because I went to go change the strings before the video, and then decided to just make the video before changing the strings. Simple as that. And what's funny, I must have just put new strings on this guitar when I made that video that was in the video that I first sent to Paul, because it also doesn't have the locks on it. But no, I do lock the Floyd. This is just, I'm in between. If you will. Great to see you, David. Is this a bolt-on? Yes, these are definitely bolt-ons, for sure. Home team, what pedals do you use? Very few. I use a tuner. I use an old school Vox 9-volt wah-wah. And I have a, what do you call that thing? An EP booster from Exotics, which is a great pedal. It is more than a boost. I don't really know how to explain anything else. And then I like to use the amp distortion, but I'll tell you what, man, that drive pedal that Corey Wong gave me is great. When I'm not playing a 2-channel amp and I'm just staying on 1 channel, I do use that pedal. That really surprised me how good that was. Let's see here. Howdy, Saul from France. Good to see you. Saw Coulter last week. Insane. Okay. Charlie, do we have to be a member to participate, or subscribers are in? Charlie, if you're trying to win the PRS rig, this is literally just a thank you for being a subscriber on GuitarGate.com. If anybody's watching, if you are a subscriber on guitargate.com. You are already entered. It is a random pick. You don't have to spend any more money. This is completely random, and it's just a thank you for being a part of the community. That's why I let you guys pick the next React videos. That's why I give guitars away. It's all just a very big thank you from me for allowing me to do this for a living. So that's it. Daryl, you're making your first guitar. Should you do a wood burn finish with shotgun shell knobs and flying pheasant inlays? Yeah, I think you should. Okay. Eric, good to see you. Layla, glad that Radiohead brought you in. Yeah, okay, Radiohead. Love to see Radiohead live. That's another one. Absolutely. Yeah, a bolt-on with PRS pickups would be so microphonic and throaty. I'm kind of thinking the same thing, right? Because I really like, I love my Silver Sky. Like, I really do. Like, it is the most fun guitar that I have. But it's not, it moves. It's not a hard hunk of meat. You know what I mean? It's a fragile, delicate thing that needs to be coaxed, and it's flexible and it moves. This is a sledgehammer. It's a playful thing. And so I'm curious to hear what those pickups sound like. Little one is good. Thank you for asking. Lucas, looking for my first tube amp. Anything to look for? This is a question for one of our moderators, Mr. Tonic. Hopefully he jumps in there. But I'll give you the advice I give everybody. And that is, find a good used one and save some money. Can't go wrong with just the classic Fender stuff. I mean, really don't have to overthink it. Unless, of course, you're trying to play heavier music with some gain and you want to use the tube distortion. In which case, I mean, if you can find a used, like the Mesa 5x5s, what are they called? Or the 25, anyway, combos. Like the little Mesa combos are great. I prefer them over the little Marshall combos. Many good options, but just remember, used gear is fantastic. You do not have to spend the money to buy new. Get a better amp or guitar. Like if you have $500 to spend, get a used one and get a better one than you could get new for that money. Okay. Feeling a lesson. Sean, how about some double stop riff ideas for a 145 and G? Sure. So, if I'm in G, how do you want to do a little double stop? So if I'm in G, so G, C, D. I'd like to do little double stops like this. So jumping from this little piece, this third and root of G major. So B in the bass, G up front, and then jumping to your next inversion, if you will. To now you have your fifth of G and your third. Point of double stops is that you hear me say it all the time about third hunting, knowing where your thirds are. If you're gonna land on one, you're gonna land on a chord tone. And if you're just choosing two notes, you can omit the root, you can omit the fifth, right? Like in this one, I'm omitting the fifth. In this one, I'm omitting the root. But as long as you have that third in there, it's gonna sound like the chord because the function is going to be the same. So if I'm in G, right? Then when I go to the 4 chord, same concept. I'm looking for dyads. I'm looking for, so there's C major. That would be the same two shapes. Fifth and third. Third and root, like that. So now, when we go to D major, our 5 chord, I'm going to try to stay on the same string set and do what I call my closest moves. And again, all I'm doing here is I'm playing 5th of D and 3rd of D. So these are D major chord, 5th and 3rd, like that. You can get it up here like this, or right here. Check that out. 3rd and root. So I'm always doing 2 things. I'm going from my 3rd in the bass, so 3rd and root, and then 5th in the bass would be 5th and 3rd. So for G, for C, for D, or, because this is the same as, just like that. And once you get in the habit of this type of thing, then you can hear all of your chord changes with your lead lines if you just connect those little simple things. Right? Fair enough. Okay, let's see what else we got. All right, while we're on the 12-bar blues subject, how about some help with different 1-4-5 progressions, like the different variations of them? All right, so check it. Your basic 2 switches, your basic 2 vibes that I do go over in the course, by the way, in Blues Guitar Fundamentals are quick change and slow change. And then you also have like a 12-bar and 8-bar. So a quick change would be like, where it goes, the first bar is the 1 chord, second bar is the 4 chord, and then it's back to the 1 chord. And then in a slow change, it's just 1 for the first 4 bars. Just and then you're on to the 4 chord. Those are your 2 basic forms. Like when you go and you play a blues with somebody, they're going to say the key, quick change, slow change, and mostly it's going to be a 12-bar, sometimes it'll be an 8-bar. And that's it. Have I checked on any more Smashing Pumpkins? No. Shoot me a video or upload to the site if you remember, or drop a link in the comments in one of the videos. I would love to do more Smashing Pumpkins. That Talking Heads cover was ridiculous. Mason, yeah, Scary Pool Party is nuts. I am totally aware. Totally aware. All right, let's see what else we got. By the way, if you're just tuning in and you're wondering what the big announcement is, it's a few. Number 1, I've decided to share my story of how I teach online. It's called the Online Educator's Blueprint, and the link is in the description. And you can save 25% off by using the code 25OFF. Basically, the internet changed my life. I love teaching online. I can't believe that I was lucky enough to have been born when I was born and choose to go in when it came around. And now that I support my whole family of 6, from my garage teaching. It's truly incredible. And I made it because I feel like for anybody out there that is a teacher at heart, whether it's music or fitness or cooking or painting, whatever it is, but you're a teacher, you're an artist at heart, not an entrepreneur. There's no course for you. And you get bombarded with all the crap out there from Grant Cardone and Ty Lopez and like everybody standing in front of their jets and their Ferraris and saying you can make $1 million in a month if you just buy my $997, newsletter or master. It's like, it's all such junk. And there's nothing out there for like the actual people like myself have shared, like that we're not selling, we're not entrepreneurs, we're educators and artists. And how do we make a living? And so I just, after 10 years, I felt compelled to do it. So if any of you are interested in that, I show you absolutely everything that I do. You will, I mean, every piece of it, and it's going to be constantly growing. And it has its own Discord and its own community for us to share what's working, what's not, as we grow together. The second big announcement is 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. Unbelievable. We're going to have a big concert in the next couple of weeks. It's hard to time exactly when you're going to hit 500, but soon. And we're going to do a full PRS giveaway to a lucky GuitarGate subscriber. Guitar, amp, cables, picks, strings, straps, all of it. And we're talking about guitar. So what else you got, my friends? What else do you have for me? Yeah, get-rich schemes are not real things. They're not real things. It's just a preposterous thing. Hey, glad you did. Thank you so much. I hope you find it helpful. David Potts, I hope so. I hope so. I know it's kind of an interesting layout because the way it works is this is called a drip course, meaning you don't get the whole course in one fell swoop. You'll get a new unit every week or so that you have enough time to actually implement some of the things that you do or that you're learning. And that's important, that you can't fast forward, that you can do it. So yeah, David, and again, jump into the Discord if you haven't yet, David. And if there's anything in particular that I didn't cover or you want to go deeper on, just throw it into the Discord, and that's it. Tom, I don't know. They haven't sent it to me yet. She just said it's in the mail, but it's a whole rig, guitar, amp, cables, everything. There you go. Michael, I am plugging in direct through GarageBand. Couldn't be simpler right now because this is a live stream. I mean, yeah. JP Delaney, no, I have not. I don't even know where I would try something like that. I guess you'd have to go to NAMM, right? I'm not going to NAMM this year. Is anybody else going to NAMM? I feel like there's like a mass exodus that in COVID, all these manufacturers had arguably some of their best years ever and realized that they don't have to do trade shows. And that even though they've been doing it forever, who knows what it costs Fender or Gibson to do one of these trade shows? I don't know, $1 million with all the people? I mean, even a large but smaller company like PRS that they still have a big booth and all. I mean, it's got to cost hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to do. And I think they all just realized that they don't have to do that anymore. I don't know. What do you think? But so many people aren't going that I don't feel compelled to make the investment and go. Because usually I just go to hang out with my YouTube friends because it's the only time in the world we get to meet and talk shop because none of us have anybody around us that does what we do. But so many of them aren't going. I just said, I don't know. Probably a Sanzera. That's probably a very, very good guess. Check out the Aqueous. All right. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've gotten a fair amount of pushback from people that, that are just like, go back to selling guitar lessons. Don't try to be one of these other people. And it's just, man, someone needs to do it. That's just how I feel. Yeah, Mr. Tonic gave up on NAMM years ago. Guitar Dog, how you doing, man? I've been seeing you playing shows out there. I've been seeing you. I've been tracking you on Instagram. Sean Lane was so scary. Absolutely nuts. Nuts. Kenny Rose Philly, how you doing, man? Keep up the great work yourself. More than likely close to $1 million. Hall E, the cheapest option, runs $4K for a 10 by 10 space, plus all the expenses. I mean, think about all the hotel and food and all your employees that you have to take out there, and you got to feed all of them, and it's all got to be on the company. I mean, and everything that goes along with it. Just nuts. Matt G, how you doing, man? It's been a minute. Okay. Robert, any tips on song memorization for guitar parts? Learn them and seem to forget them so quickly. Man, don't we all? There's really, man. When I had Tomo on here, and if you guys don't know Tomo, just search Tomo Fujita, or if you don't feel like spelling that, just Tomo Guitar, Tomo, and he'll pop up. An incredible Japanese guitar player and educator, based in Massachusetts, Berkeley instructor. Tremendous person, too. Tremendous. He said that one thing he gives all his students is he limits their intake. He says, you listen to one album at a time. Listen to one album at a time, and really, and I think he said like limit it to like 3 to 5 albums in your rotation, like your possession, at any one given time. And don't allow yourself to get into the habit, like I am with this channel, to listen to something new every 10 seconds, right? If you're really trying to get the essence of a player, whether it's their phrasing or their tone or just songwriting feel or whatever, you can't listen to that once or twice, learn the lick, look up some tabs, and then try to play it and move on. If you're really trying to get that osmosis to happening, you have to do what all of your heroes did. And they bought records that they spent hard-earned money for, that a lot of them didn't have when they were young, and they wore them out. They listened to them again, go back and try to figure stuff out by ear. I mean, it's so easy with the internet now to cheat. And I encourage you, look, cheat. Use the video. Use some basic tabs, but don't, and simplified lessons, but don't think that it's gospel. Don't think that that's the whole story. It's not. There's so much more nuance that's happening, and you're not going to get that unless you just submerge yourself in people's playing. So that really is the best advice. You learn them and forget them so quickly because you move on to something else. Become obsessive, and then go on to something else. Yeah, that's right. I'm kind of on that wavelength too, Steve. Tricks dropped. Found you on the Pantera reaction video. Stayed for the Tasty Chops and SpaceX shirt. I appreciate you. I am very excited. I'm going to Pantera's U.S. home opener in Daytona Beach, Florida, at that huge rock festival where like Pantera is the headliner one night and Tool is the other night. Is anybody else going to that? I will be there. Charlie Benante, the drummer, in the newly formed Pantera tribute band, whatever you want to call it, invited me, and I'm going. So I'm very, very stoked for that. Okay. So, let's see. Chris B., you are welcome, man. You are welcome. Matt Kelly, how do I play like Keith Urban? Matt Kelly, I have no idea how you play like Keith Urban. Keith Urban has so many little, all great guitar players, I feel like, are a combination of their own personality and things they've picked up and stolen along the way. One thing I love that Keith Urban does is so many of us, myself included, when we do our pedal steel bends, we'll do like it's always like 1-to-1. One thing Keith Urban does all the time is he'll go like, do like 5 of them, right? Right. There's such a I don't know, like a playfulness, like an over the bar line kind of thing that he does. Another thing that he does is really cool is he actually plays a lot of arpeggios, just straight arpeggios, Like what's that one song? The but like but like doesn't do it like in a stale, static kind of way. Um, he'll do it with like a ton of vibrato, right? And just like hang on to straight chord tones, no licks, and just ton of vibrato, just ton of swagger, and just like shake the neck. But it's just a straight arpeggio, like it's not a lick. So many things, so many things. But this is another example of what I was just talking about. If you really want to learn to play like a player, you have to just immerse yourself in their stuff, song by a time, album at a time, right? Immerse yourself. The biggest question of any musician: what is your favorite chord? My favorite chord, probably this. I'm a big fan of floatiness. I'm a big fan of sus chords and anything that avoids the third. As much as I say how much third hunting like is the name of the game, but playing ambiguous floaty chords is kind of my favorite sound, because then over which you can third all day. You can major or minor. You can have all the flavor you want, because the chord itself is just floating in obscurity. So like these, like where like this would be root, fifth, ninth, right? E9 or add 9, D add 9 over pedal tones, stuff like that. Like that whole police something. I forget the changes, but that type of vibe, and any of those sus chords like that, like just a huge fan of sus chords. Huge fan. Okay. Oh, Chris Chase wants to know, when learning tones, semitones versus intervals. For example, the harmonic minor either as blank, whole, half, or in terms of the major scale. I see what you mean. Are you thinking in terms of distance or in intervals? Over time, those will become the same thing. The beauty of Western harmony is once you get to 12, you start over. You're never really doing long division or any, really complicated thing. So it's like, if you start on E at 12, it's E again. So it's very easy to remember that, oh yeah, the flat 9 is just a half step up. Like almost instantaneously, without any effort at all, you can get the first three. You're like, oh yeah, flat 9, 9, flat 3, right? Or flat 2, it's all the same stuff. And the opposite's also true, right? Tonic, major 7, flat 7th, half step, whole step. And then it doesn't take long to just fill in the gaps in the middle. It's pretty intuitive after a period of time. All right. Love the Wolfgang. It is a badass guitar. Mike, do I like SGs or Les Pauls? I've always preferred SGs. I've never owned an SG. I would love to own an SG. And I have owned Les Pauls before, and they're great guitars. From a practical standpoint, I don't like how heavy they are to gig with. The tone is the tone. It's huge. It's heavy because it is huge and heavy. And they're great instruments. But I've just never wanted something that heavy to gig with and play for 3 hours. I mean, it's just a lot. And I've always loved the SG. I've always loved the SG, P90 vibe. I would love to have an SG with a P90. I really would. It doesn't have to be old. It can be modern. It can be whatever. But they're just ferocious instruments. I like little speed demons. I don't always I feel like the Les Paul is like a Cadillac Cruiser. You know what I mean? Like nothing really rides like it because it's like kind of the best. But it's this big, heavy boat of a thing that you lug around, and yet, yes, you can burn if you want to all over it. But it's really meant to just be that sustain and that big, huge, warm thing. Where the SG is a firecracker, and I like that generally. I mean, all the ones I've had are pretty heavy. Now, I'm not saying the Jazzmaster isn't a lot heavier. And yes, I know that you can get lighter Les Pauls. But I can tell you this, the ones that I've had a classic and I've had a custom. Early 2000s models, give or take. And it was just in the cover band game when you're doing 350s a night or 440s or something like that, it's just got to be too much, man. You can call me a sissy, but it's just true. If I could own any one guitar, what would it be? It would be my red, my cherry, Taylor 410 or 510. Love that guitar more than anything else that I've ever had. That's like a physical possession. That thing is very special. Yeah, Derek likes the SG too. Let's see here. What else we got? Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Again, if you're just tuning in, the big announcement is that I decided to share how I run my community, how I make a living, and how you could do the same. It's called the Online Educator's Blueprint. I've been doing this 10 years. I'm deeply grateful, and I just felt compelled to kind of share my story in the hopes that anybody out there like you that's a passionate teacher, artist, and wants to make the move online or at least supplement their in-person teaching online, I show you exactly how I do it. This is all I do for a living. I have 4 kids. I support a family of 6 with guitars, cameras, and keyboards, right? And screens. And so I just felt like it needed to exist, and so I made it. So that's the link in the description, and there is a 25% discount code on there. Use it, 25 off. Second, again, we're about to hit 500,000 subscribers, and we're going to have a concert, and we're going to give away an entire PRS rig for free to one random lucky member of the website, guitargate.com, as a thank you for allowing me to be one of your teachers and for being one of my students online and making all this possible. And we're also talking guitar. I'm going to change the pickups in this thing. I'm probably going to refret this thing. I've done more gigs with this guitar than anything, and it is in bad need of some love. That is for sure. Rob Walton, look who it is. My man. Stay safe out there. Let's see. Mike, how's it going? Sadly, the more money, the better, lighter the Les Paul seems to be. I don't know if that's true, but it might be. Is it National or International Bagpipe Day? I like it. Hey, thanks for stopping by and saying hello. Sterling, should I think about expanding? Okay, all right. Let me address the elephant in the room. For anybody that's watching that has had light interaction with me, you know that I am completely swamped and bombarded by all my emails and communications in everything. This is a great problem. But I'll be totally transparent. This is the classic issue when something works. It's people who really care about it have a really hard time delegating and asking for help. I try to respond to every email with some type of personal thing, I've given up on social media stuff because, like, a video could have 1,000 comments. But at least with emails and DMs and things like that, I make an attempt to respond to everything. I make an attempt to respond to everything inside GuitarGate, but it's impossible, so it just doesn't happen. And I need to get an assistant. I need to hire someone to do just it's 50 emails a day of people I got a new credit card. I can't remember my password. Literally, it's a bombardment. And the vast majority of my day is spent doing that stuff, like admin stuff, instead of teaching and playing guitar, which is why I did this for a living, or in the first place. So, yes, I think about it all the time. And then I just go back and start responding to messages and putting out fires and trying to help people. Like, it's just like... I just wouldn't be a good boss. I don't know. I don't really want to be responsible for anybody else's income either. I don't know. It's a personal thing. I'm working on it. But I will readily admit that I need help and that the growth is stunted because of my lack of asking for help and prioritizing it. It's just true. But it's comments like this: Joe, best thing to happen to my playing ever. I appreciate that. Like, that is what I want to focus on. I love that stuff. I don't necessarily want to bring on other instructors and expand to other instruments and become like a true fire or something like that. I really just want to keep it focused on having the most positive and engaged members of this community, to be in it and to have it be the most fun and exciting and like the place where you find the new music and you find friends. Like, I really want that to be this, just as strong as it can be, as deep of a relationship as it can be, because that will then inspire me to continue to work to get better on this myself. I guess what I'm saying is I don't look at myself as having a business. I don't look at it as myself as an entrepreneur. Like, I look at myself as a musician and a teacher who gets way too many emails and messages to the point where it's affecting me being a musician and a teacher. And I don't quite know how to address it yet, but it needs to happen. Glad we got that out there, because, I can be pretty late getting back to you, but I do always try to get back. Brian joins the lifetime member at Christmas time. Awesome. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Waiting to post my first video. Any tips, pointers to get over the nervousness? Man, this is a great question. So if anybody's watching is not a member, it's a video sharing website. What makes the community different is that you can upload videos, not just to request videos for me to do on YouTube, but of you completing the lesson. So if we're working on bending or slides, you can upload a video bending on slides. And it's great for two reasons. One, and this is the real answer to your question. Well, they both are, but just hitting the button and posting it with warts and all gives you that accountability, because you did it. It's the same as walking into the gym. It's the same as walking up on stage, or doing a presentation at work or in school. It's just like, just showing up and doing it and hitting the button is the battle. Because once you do it, and then you realize you're either going to get no comments or only positive comments in my community, because negativity is not tolerated, you immediately realize, oh man, it's not that big of a deal. Like everybody hates watching and listening to themselves, but that accountability, it's so visceral. It's such an emotional thing to hit that button. Overcoming that is kind of part of it. Like that's what makes the machine work. And two, for every video that you see posted from somebody that was uncomfortable, who knows, 30, 50 people considered posting a video but didn't, and maybe them seeing that video, working on and struggling with the same thing that they are, inspires them to pick it up. And even if they don't post a video, they still pick it up maybe one more time than they didn't before. That is everything. That is everything. So you don't have to post, but know that if you do, you getting over your fear and posting it, I'm telling you, you've helped just 10 more people, or whatever the number is, do the same. It's a big deal. David, how do I handle email replies on vacation? Very poorly. So I was just on vacation. I had an away message up saying I'm on vacation. It did nothing to deter all the emails. Made no dent. And then yesterday, I flew the entire day from Salt Lake to Detroit to Baltimore, had a layover, did about 10 straight hours. Nothing, just got a couple beers, got food, and just did emails like the whole day in one fell swoop. I don't know. Okay. Partsman, yes it does. If you get a lifetime membership, it means you get everything before and everything going forward. It is kind of crazy that I offer that, but I do. Because, I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years. I intend to do it another 30 years. This is like my life's work. So all of that, all the data we pay to store, all the everything, but some people just don't like having another subscription. They want to just pay a larger amount and not feel the pressure of time. And I get that. So that's why that's in there. Juba School of Music. How many members are on GuitarGate? Quite a lot. You know, I don't, the number changes a lot, but I'll say that in 10 years, over 200,000 people have enrolled in one of my courses somewhere. Now, the number of lifetime members, I don't know offhand, and monthly subscribers, I don't know offhand, but it's big. It's thousands and thousands of people. So, like when I use the number 200,000, that doesn't mean there's 200,000 people currently subscribing. That means over a 10-year period, that's how many people have enrolled in one of my courses somewhere, right? So it's not as big as you think, but it's still large. It's still big enough that for just me and my web partner Matthew, that we're completely swamped all the time. It's yeah. Mr. Tonic Amps. I know. You guys, you know, if you guys would do that, all right, I will reach out. I know. All right, let's move on. Yes. You know, Dan, and I think about that a lot. I think about that. There's this thing. I don't know, like if you're not going forward, you're going backwards. I like being a lifestyle business. I like doing this. I don't like to do all the other stuff. Put it this way. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he said, yeah, no duh. You're now in management. You used to be the creative director, and that's what all you wanted to be. And now you found yourself in management, and management sucks. I said, huh, okay. Anyhow, so let's move on. Let's go back to whatever. Sat 12, can you show how to play 3 different pentatonic scales in a song in one key? Should some of them be modes? I'm not quite sure what this means. How to play 3 different pentatonic scales on a song in one key. I guess he means in a song. So like if you're in G, you could play pentatonic. can't see that. I can play it right there. Or, same notes, I just... Or... So you're just, it's the same 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 for a major pentatonic, and you're just moving them around. I don't know if that is helpful or not. Vandy Man, have a good one. See you later. All right, my friends, I'm gonna call it because my my oldest son just got home from school, and we're actually gonna do a keyboard lesson. You know, I've actually gotten a lot of emails from people asking, like, can you make an easy keyboard course for guitar players? And I've been thinking about it, and I don't know if I'm going to do it. But that's what I'm teaching my son, because I don't know how to properly play keyboards. But I obviously know theory, and I know how to make chords and scales and have them all connect. And that's what I'm teaching my son for his kids' rock band. So anyway, something to think about. So thank you guys so much for tuning in again. If you're curious about the Online Educator's Blueprint, hit the button. It's in the description. Use the code 25OFF to save 25%. It is now live. Jump in the Discord over there. We're trying to get that sorted, get that working, get some people on there. It's brand new, and I'd love to have you on there. 2, about to hit 500,000 subscribers. We're going to have a concert and a full PRS rig giveaway in the next, I don't know, 3 weeks. It'll be close to when we actually cross 500. I don't know when that's going to happen, but once we get the drummer to agree to the date, that's the date we're going to do. And so we're going to give away the guitar, the amp, the cables, straps, picks, strings, all of it, courtesy of PRS. It'll be brand new. I will be playing the whole rig during the concert, so you can see that this is actually gig ready. This isn't a bedroom thing. And Mr. Tonic, who's the band for the concert? The band for the concert is some friends of mine. Some friends of mine that I have not had on the channel. I have not played with on the channel, but that I've always wanted to play with. And, you know, we're just going to hang out. We're going to drink beer. We're going to play some rock and roll. And we're just going to celebrate and have a good time. And that's what it's going to be. And that's that. Know that I love you. Take care. Thanks so much for being a member of this community. And for those of you that are subscribers on GuitarGate, thank you so much for allowing me to do this for a living. And I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Happy Friday.